Live, I wanted to talk about a couple things that have been going on this week. So let's talk about creating a private practice. I think that's one of the things that we really have to talk about, especially in this day and age where there's a lot of practices that are being created, either, telehealth or, just even, just regular private practices, OBGYNs, all types of different practices, right? Even therapists. So, what I do with my team is I am able to create private practices, small outpatient clinics, as well as like small hospitals. So if you want any more information on that, definitely go ahead and DM me. Can you hear me okay? Do they? Turn it on. Let's see. Sorry, guys. We got to see if this is working or not. I think it is. So anyways, let's start. So if you want to create a private practice, let's start for behavioral health, and you are an actual therapist, okay? So you're a therapist, LCSW, LCISW, LPC, whatever, psychiatrist, psychologist, right? So there's two ways that you can basically have a practice. One, you have to make sure, right, that you have all of the certifications and also documentations from school, all of that good stuff. There's also something that you should also go ahead and get completed if you are new. It's called CAQH, and I'll go ahead and put that into the comments in a little bit. But what I want to definitely get across to all of you when you want to create a practice, and definitely when you're behavioral health space, some people want to take insurances and some people don't, and that's totally fine. But what I will say is this: right now we are in a time where people do have insurance. Right now, cash is king just to, survive in life, right? So not all the time do people want to see a therapist or even a physician who is out of network. They might not be able to completely afford that. So just always remember that as well if you do not want to take insurance. I do not discourage it, but please understand that if you're not going to take insurance, you're going to be speaking to a certain population that has enough money to be able to do that and also pay for labs and everything else. Okay, so always remember that. You're taking a little bit of a risk, especially if the economy is not how it used to be. So when you take, cash patients, right, you still have to make sure that you are zoned properly. So if you're creating a business and you're actually going to be like just in a building or like downtown, make sure that it's zoned properly. Make sure that you're getting the right, permits and business permits if needed. It depends on certain cities and demographics or wherever you are. Sometimes with rural communities, that's not really a big deal, but I do know here in Atlanta, you do have to have certain things in place in order to make sure that your practice is set up correctly. Once you do that, you also have to make sure that you have some type of online presence. So as you all know, I love LinkedIn, but that's not the only platform that I'm on, right? I'm on, Instagram. I have a new YouTube channel, and then Facebook, and I'm also going to start doing some Twitch. But what I want everyone to understand is just because you're opening any type of practice does not mean that everyone's going to even know that you're there, right? You have to have some type of marketing. You have to have something to show people who you are and why do I want to come and talk to you, especially if you're in behavioral health. With behavioral health, all I can say, and we all know this as practitioners, it's all about trust. No one wants to be called crazy. Nobody wants to say they have had a mental health breakdown, but people do want help. So when you definitely have an actual practice, especially when it's something like that, you want to make sure that your waiting room is pretty private. You don't want everyone to, kind of mingle. And I say that because people want privacy. Make sure that some of your forms are actually online. That is very helpful, especially if you want to know a lot about the person's background. A lot of times when you're coming to a mental health either facility or private practice, they want to know all of these things about you, like what triggered, why are you coming? Give people time. So having an online form is awesome for people to be able to share what's going on and what type of help they believe that they need so that you can actually make the decision on what they need as a professional. The other thing is a lot of times when people start out, especially therapists, and it's a small practice, solo practice, everyone is answering their own phones and doing everything. I personally would lean against that. And I'll tell you why. Especially for behavioral health practitioners, when you are also handling maybe the copays or the money, and what if somebody doesn't have that? Then it spills into the actual conversation in your therapy session. And to me, it ruins in some ways the relationship between you and the patient when you are also the one collecting the money. So even if it has to be, I don't know, your partner, your friend, or whoever, or it could be something that's automated online, or you could have a pseudo billing, company who is actually reaching out to them for payment. It's very, very important. I've seen this so many times when people are doing everything on their own, and it really does destroy sometimes patient relationships. So we really want to make sure that that's not happening. When you are creating a private practice, so I'm just going to go from a generalist perspective. So this means medical, behavioral health, and all in between. And you're going to definitely take insurance. You have to give yourself time. Creating a practice does not happen overnight. People are not flocking to you unless you are, I don't know, it might not be the best example, but like Dr. Phil, right? Nobody knows who you are. So we have to make sure that we're starting out slowly. First things first, if you're going to take insurance, you have to think about the insurances that you want to take, right? You have to think about the demographics and actually where are you, so that if people are looking for you, what type of insurance do you think your community even has? If you're unsure of that, go ahead. I work with Shanae Moret, and we always talk about polls. Take a poll and see maybe what type of insurance. Look it up, Google it, and see what they're actually taking. I always say that you should take the big 8, and I'll tell you what the big 8 is. Medicare, Medicaid, Aetna, Cigna, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, TRICARE or TriWest, and then I always forget the other one. What's the other one? United Healthcare. So start out with those, right? And see what type of reimbursement rates you're going to get. We already know what we're going to get with CMS and Medicare. They're the same. You can go on their website and see what they're paying for certain procedures. And I do know, and I'm going to address this as well, that some people don't want to take Medicare and Medicaid. And I'm going to tell you, to me, that that's a mistake. It's a mistake because if you're truly going to help all people, then you should take everybody's insurance. because you never know when even you could be in that situation and might be on Medicare or Medicaid. Think about what has happened. It's a global pandemic. People have lost everything, and some of them are on Medicaid and Medicare. That doesn't mean that they are less than. That doesn't mean that they are substance abusers. That doesn't mean anything. All it means is that that's the insurance that they have. The next thing is, for Medicaid and Medicare, don't assume what type of people are going to come into your office, because you never know. It could be somebody like me. I have been on it before when I lost my job and I lost everything, and I'm not ashamed of it either. But I was completely treated differently when I had Medicaid versus now that I have Blue Cross and Blue Shield PPO, and that should not be happening. We all take oaths, and the oath is, especially as a doctor and even in the counseling world, there's a code of ethics. And the theme of the code of ethics is always to do no harm. So let's think about this, right? So if we actually take all people, how bad can you possibly be with revenue, right? You should be able to still make money if you're taking Medicaid and Medicare. If you're not, then that's when you need to watch a next segment with my team. I have a team member. Her name is Catherine, and we're going to start doing some lives, and we're going to tell you what is going on with your revenue if you're not getting it. So Medicare and Medicaid, I don't want to hear it that you're not making money, because you should. And that if you're not, you need to think about your workflow. You need to think about, are you billing things that you're not supposed to, meaning a Z00.00? That's very general code. And guess what? Medicare and Medicaid don't take that code. So you're not going to get paid for it, right? So you need to know also like what you're working with, okay? And how to run a practice effectively. So a lot of people come to us and they want us to build, practices. It's not the practice, that is difficult. What's difficult is people sometimes don't want to change their frame of mind. So when you are a therapist or you are a doctor or whatever you are, I need you all to say right now with me, I am an entrepreneur, which means, what does this mean? This means that I am not just a doctor. I am not just a therapist. I am a business owner, and a business owner understands all facets of their business, just like me. We are here to assist you to learn all of those different things for you to be successful. But if you only think, hey, I can do wound care or COVID testing or this, that, and the third, you're not going to make it. As a physician, nurse practitioner, therapist, counselor, all of you, you are an entrepreneur. So I know that might sound alarming, but it's the truth, which means treat your staff with respect. No one is underneath you just because of the degrees that you have. We are so proud of you to have those degrees. You're saving lives. But then again, we do not have a hierarchy. There is no caste system to healthcare, and there should never be. The other thing is, when you're running your practice, your front desk, so your administration staff, as well as your back office, maybe billing staff, and then also your team, which might be the healthcare staff like nurses, PAs, MAs. Guess what? You guys are all a team. So what I want everyone to stop doing is saying, oh, it's billing's fault. Oh, it's admin's fault. Oh, it's this fault. Guess what? It's your fault. You're a business owner. We have to all figure out what is going on with your whole team. right? Because right now, still healthcare is working like in the 1900s. We've got to speed it up, guys. You have to still give great customer service. I'm not coming to your practice if your admin is rude. I'm not coming to your practice if I call and they're like, hold on. I'm not coming to your practice. Okay. I'm not coming to your practice if you're screaming out my name and I'm in some, distress, or I don't want people to know why I'm coming to you. I'm not coming to your practice if you still have that old school sign in and then y'all think that the little thing is gonna like not show everybody's names. Well, that doesn't work either. Okay, so we've got to upgrade. And that's one thing that we help you do. It is very important for our healthcare to get just a little bit better. And that's basically what we do as consultants. So, as I said, I have a team. I'm going to continue to go live as much as possible. I'll even try to get a schedule, but due to us actually creating practices, you don't know what's going to happen. We might have a billing issue, or somebody's sick or whatnot. And also, we run our own practice, and it's for our nation's veterans because they need it. And I believe that they need to be served as well. So I will leave you with this. If you want to create your own private practice, think about it. Give yourself time, but not only read literature on what you're going to be doing with that patient, but also read literature like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Atomic Habits. You need to start reading some entrepreneurial books or get all up on Audible, or y'all can DM me, because you are an entrepreneur. So that's all I wanted to say today. I love all of the healthcare professionals around the world, but we do all have to come together as healthcare professionals, because an admin is a healthcare professional. They are needed. Doctors, nurses are needed, and so is the billing staff. They're needed. All of those people that are that engine to make a healthcare practice and or hospital work, they matter and they are needed. So when we have these rifts in different departments, that's causing issues, and that's also causing errors, which then honestly goes back to the insurance company, which raises our prices. And then again, here we go. So that is just my spiel for today. And as I said, you will see Catherine on here. She's an expert billing encoder. She's been doing this for a very long time. We are so happy to have her on our team. She doesn't play around, and she makes sure that things are in order. We also have Crystal as well, who is on our team. She's an amazing credentialer to make sure that your insurance is also being done properly. Because if it's not, guess what? You won't be billing anything. You'll get denials. So let's not do that. All right, everyone. So again, it was great to see you all, and I am done for today. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you learned something.